Hi, my name is Parth and I spent some time with the Lenovo K8 on the launch event actually, and even though I'm pretty sure I won't be reviewing it, but I kind of wanted to share my opinions on this with you. So here are top 5 things that you should be knowing if you're looking forward to purchasing the Lenovo K8 in a few days. Should be fun. So let's begin with the software, since that would be the aspect that you'll be interacting the most with. And surprisingly, Lenovo has now opted for stock Android, which is probably the best piece of news that I've heard from them. This actually means a lot of things, like great user experience, really smooth interface, pretty much no bloatware, and most importantly, rapid software updates, which is amazing. Basically the best decision ever. Everyone should opt for stock Android, and this actually runs the latest of Android 7.1.1 out of the box, so you would be able to use those nifty features like Google Assistant, and this actually might just turn a lot of heads towards not only the K8 Note but also Lenovo itself. But the next thing to note is actually the fact that Lenovo has not opted for the Snapdragon processors with the K8 Note, which this statement in itself is a separate video in itself. It's such a topical issue to debate on. But anyways, the processor inside is a MediaTek processor, and this is a 10-core processor, which sounds pretty beastly, but the first 4 cores are actually clocked at 1.5 GHz, the next 4 are clocked at 1.8 GHz, and then the rest 2 are clocked at 2.3 GHz. So it's not really a true 10-core processor. Although it looks very promising and appealing on paper, and it will definitely perform better than any other smartphone in this price range on benchmarks. But benchmarks never tell the whole story, and I'm actually kind of concerned about the efficiency and the heating issues associated with the same. Lenovo has actually also given up on the hybrid SIM slot, but that's for the good. It still supports dual SIM cards and it still supports a microSD card to expand the storage. So what's the catch? The thing is that they have actually put in 2 slots, one for the 2 SIM cards and one for the microSD card to expand the storage up to 64 GB. This is pretty amazing, but Lenovo is actually also focusing on the audio media consumption on a whole. So they literally put a button on the side of the phone right below those 2 slots, which actually plays music. But the good thing is that you can actually remap the button to function whatever you want it to. So you can make it launch any app of your choice, which is amazing. So luckily it's not forcing you onto just use music, and that is appreciated. Now talking about the hardware, this is a decent looking phone with slightly big bezels flanking that 5.5-inch 1080p display, which is pretty bright by the way, but it's also a pretty heavy phone at 180 grams and slightly thick, at least according to today's standards, at about 8.5 millimeters. So all of this means just one thing, and that is a bigger battery. So this has a huge 4000 mAh battery capacity, which actually should be terrific. But to be honest, it all depends on how efficient the processor is, and if everything goes right, pretty much you're guaranteed more than a day of usage on a single charge, which is like a trademark in the budget phone category. But last but not the least, the camera. So just like every other manufacturer, Lenovo too is talking a lot about their new dual camera setup, which sure is pretty attractive. So 2 lenses with 13 and 5 megapixel sensors attached to them, and of course they boast the flagship feature of a dual camera setup, which is the bokeh or portrait mode. I didn't get to check it out, although I'm kind of doubtful of the natural look a real bokeh provides. The front camera too is actually a pretty powerful one. It's 16 megapixels, so actually higher magnitude than the rear camera. But fun fact, both the rear camera and the front camera have a manual mode, which is pretty great, and this pretty much marks the end of the major happenings in the K8 Note. But time for some honorable mentions. It is splash proof, not water resistant, just splash proof. It is not giving up on the headphone jack, which is pretty nice. It still does not support USB Type-C, which is kind of a bummer. but it will be available in two variants: 3GB of RAM, 32GB of ROM, and 4GB of RAM and 64GB of ROM for 13K and 14K respectively. Pretty decent price for what you're getting for the price, at least on paper. So there you have it. These are 5 things that you should take a note of about the Lenovo K8 if you're really into this device. Feel free to share this video. I think it will be helpful. Feel free to rate it and stick around. I'll catch you in my next one. Take care.